Hello and welcome to Todd Rolls Dice, where we're going to take another look at a Horus Heresy 3.0 preview. And this one does actually have some rules in it. I feel like they've been dragging out the Saturnine stuff, but hopefully they've saved the best till last as we take a look at rules in the Age of Darkness, the Saturnine Dreadnought. There is no shortage of options for a Space Marine player building an army in the Horus Heresy. So let's find out why you should make space in your force for a Saturnine Dreadnought and how to get the best of it in your games. Alright, I said this in the last Saturnine video, the Dreadnought video yesterday. I just love this model. I think it looks, there's a picture down below, I've used it on the thumbnail. I don't think it looks as good as the green, but I just think it's a cool looking sci-fi mech robot thing. But let's focus on the bit that we don't already know. Beginning with the stat line, we can tell you how impressive this Dreadnought is, because they want to sell a lot of them. With toughness 8 and 8 wounds, it'll be hard for all but the most specialised infantry to drop it, but the trade-off is speed. At a lumbering movement 6, its mental stats are equally impressive as they are for all Dreadnoughts. So the Saturnine Dreadnought composes of one Saturnine Dreadnought for 340 points base. The stat line, which looks, I guess movement 6 is slower than normal, but it looks familiar to what a Dreadnought would be in 40k. I know Heresy is different, so this is probably a big deal. But it's movement 6, weapon skill, ballistic skill 4, strength 8, toughness 8, 8 wounds, initiative 3, 2 attacks, but a leadership of 12, it ain't running away, cool check 10, willpower 7, and intelligence 5 with a 2-up save and a 4-up invul. That bit is expected for Saturnine. Saturnine seem to just get all of the cool stuff. War gear options, it comes with the disintegrator cannon, the heavy plasma bombard, 2 photonic incinerators, and the thermal diffraction field. Special rules, bulky 8 and explodes 4 up, so it explodes 50% of the time, which is pretty cool. Bulky, is that some sort of rule that is objective capping, do we think? I don't know. Type, it is Walker heavy. Traits, Allegiance, Legiones Astartes, and Smokescreen. Options. This is where the fun stuff comes in. This model may have its heavy plasma bombard exchanged for one of the following. You can have another disruption cannon for an extra 10 points, an inversion beamer for an extra 10 points, or a graviton pulverizer for an extra 10 points. That's the new weapons we learned about yesterday. Or, alternatively, this model can have its disintegrator cannon exchanged for one of the following: a heavy plasma bombard, the inversion beamer, or the graviton pulverizer, and all of those upgrades would be free. Or, both of this model's photonic incinerators may be exchanged for one of the following: twin concussive resonators or twin heavy particle shredders, each for a 10-point upgrade. So quite a few options. You can basically double up on whatever weapon you want if you want to go down that route, or a mix and match of any of the 4 weapons it can take, and then you've got 3 different weapon options for the pair of blasters in its chest. You can see there are a lot of similarities to the Leviathan Dreadnought in particular, although the Saturnine has the edge in terms of durability with an extra wound and a 4-up invul save. So we do get actual Dreadnought stuff. So in 3.0, a Leviathan Dreadnought is 6-inch move, weapon skill, ballistic skill 4-up, strength and toughness 8, 7 wounds, so only 1 less, initiative 4, and 4 attacks. So it has more attacks, but is that because they're showing you a melee variant? Leadership 12, cool 10, willpower 7, intelligence 5, with a 2-up save and a 5-up invul. The Deredeo Dreadnought is movement 7, weapon skill, ballistic skill 4, strength 6, toughness 7, slightly weaker, 6 wounds, so again slightly less, initiative 4, 2 attacks, same leadership stats and same save and invul. What's more, the Saturnine boasts a thermal diffraction field that reduces the strength of weapons with the Plasma, Melter and Flame traits. So it doesn't stop the weapons overloading that it has, it's protection against other weapons. I get it. Together these account for the majority of the better ranged anti-armor weapons that might be taking shots at your Dreadnought. The thermal diffraction field also grants the Saturnine a measure of protection against overload damage from its own plasma weapons if you're firing on full power. I figured that would be something. It's nice they've confirmed it. Obviously they're not giving us all of the rules here, as they don't with these articles, but the Terminators also have that diffraction field. so they're going to be pretty nasty. You can see the Leviathan still wins out in melee. It's got better initiative and attacks. If the task at hand calls for close range carnage, the Leviathan still dominates. Good. I like that they're trying to pitch these somewhere in different classes. We don't have points on a Leviathan or a Deredeo. I'm guessing they would be less than 340 base though. At the other end of the spectrum, the reliable but comparatively fragile Deredeo still has its place, offering both longer range and anti-flyer capabilities. It's in those bruising, middle-ranged firefights that typify many Horus Heresy battles where the Saturnine Dreadnought reigns supreme. Each one comes with 2 very big guns, from a choice of 4, with a couple of smaller but still scary point defense weapons. Weapon options, and you can see we have some stats there. They come in the Saturnine box. We also have the upgrade sprue weapons as well. We'll touch on those in a bit. The disintegrator cannon and the heavy plasma bombard are the options available in the Saturnine box at launch. The former is an armor buster, delivering a pair of strength 9 D3 shots from across the battlefield. Its overload 2 trait does make it a slightly risky choice, but the risk will usually be worth it. While it lacks the dedicated anti-tank armor bane of a las cannon, its damage output makes it better than almost any other weapon in its size class at killing enemy dreadnoughts, big automata, or enemy Saturnine terminators. The heavy plasma bombard, on the other hand, is an inventory killer. It can fire on targets out of line of sight, on a dreadnought as well, that's just gross, using the satisfyingly lethal 5-inch blast template. Any enemy squads within 36 inches are in for a bad day. The sheer size of the blast marker makes it surprisingly accurate. The explosion is so big you barely have to aim. These are probably going to be similar but slightly more powerful than the Saturnine Terminator options. Disintegrator cannon, range 24, firepower 2, range strength 9, AP 2, damage 3, special rules overload 2, traits disintegrator, and the heavy plasma bombard, sustained fire, 36-inch range, 1 firepower, so 1 attack, 1 shot. Range strength 7, AP 4, damage 2, blast 5-inch, barrage, breaching 6+, traits plasma, and the maximal fire is the same except it has 1 more pip of strength and it's breaching 5 up instead of 6 up. So actually they are pretty much the same as the Terminator variants. The gravitational pulverizer and the inversion beamer will be released a little later, both as an upgrade kit and as a complete dreadnought. So when they rebox the Saturnine Dreadnought, it sounds like it's going to have all the options in. The guns are fairly easily swapped out or magnetized to suit your needs during each game. The inversion beamer also uses a large blast template and dishes out 3 damage at AP2 at short range, while the graviton pulverizer dishes out an eye-watering 4 damage if it's fired while stationary. So the inversion beamer, range less than 15 inches, it's 1 shot, range strength 8, AP2 damage 3, heavy RS and blast. What did heavy do? Was heavy +1 to whatever that trait was? So if you stay stationary, you gain an extra range strength. I think that's what it was. Blast 5 inches and traits conversion, and the longer range variant 15 to 30 inch range. Again 1 shot, strength 7, 3 AP, 2 damage. So more AP but less strength and less damage, and all the other traits are the same. The graviton pulverizer, range 18 inches, firepower 1, range strength 9, AP 3, damage 3. Heavy D, so +1 damage if it stays still. Nasty. Blast 3-inch, breaching 6 up, shock pinned and pinning 3, traits plasma. That has a lot of special rules, and at short range, mid-board, that's gonna be gross. Then there are the choice of 3 smaller weapon pairs, all of which are some manner of template weapon. This is definitely a mid-board threat, isn't it? They're there to dissuade enemy infantry from getting too close. The concussive resonator and photonic incinerator both come with a dreadnought in the Saturnine box. So the concussive resonator is range template, firepower 2, range strength 6, 5 AP and 1 damage. A template, overload 1 and stun 2, traits assault and sonic, and the photonic incinerator, again range template, 1 firepower, range strength 6, 4 AP, 1 damage, special rules template panic 2, and traits assault and flame. They're not showing us the third one, But I think we saw that with the Terminators. It's what they had on their fists, wasn't it? So it'll be a slightly better version of that, I think. The Saturnine Dreadnought clocks in at a meaty 340 points base, which is a significant proportion of your army. You will want yours in the thick of the fighting, but out of melee if possible. Expect to see them forming the anchor of advancing battle lines, staying just behind the front line, and lending their formidable firepower before battle is fully joined. I think it looks good in red as well. I wasn't sure when I first saw that image, but it is growing on me, and it is a nicely painted red. I think the shoulder pads are a little bit bland. If you don't have some detailing or more transfers or something, I think it's just a big space, like blank space. Yeah, we'll see. I mean, I just think it looks nice. There's more Horus Heresy goodness to come tomorrow. Oh, you tease. Stay up to date with all the Horus Heresy news with the Warhammer newsletter. If you signed up before the 29th of June, so in 10 days from recording, you'll be entered into a competition to win a Horus Heresy prize bundle, including a Primarch of your choice. All of the stuff, T's and C's, where you can sign up, it's all included in this article, which is linked in the description of this video if you do want to sign up. Obviously you're signing up to the Warhammer newsletter, not just the Horus Heresy newsletter, so... But still, if there's a competition going on, it might be worth looking at if you're interested. Yeah, what do we think? I have no reference point. My reference point is 40k stats, and mainly 40k 10th stats, so none of that has any bearing on any of this. Apart from weapons. I feel like weapons, there's a very similar through line to strength and stuff. I think it's very expensive, just like the Saturnine Terminators, just like the Praetorian Saturnine armor. But I think you're getting, at base, a lot for your points. At the most, you're only going to be spending another 20 points to put the weapons of your choice on. So 360 points, I think you could have a disgusting bully unit in the middle board. I really like it. I quite like that it explodes on a 4-up as well. I think that's just a beautiful little thing. I think that's what it means. But I am not the person that these articles are meant to inform. Heresy players, people who know this stuff, people who already use Leviathans, which I still think. I think the Leviathan is nicer. I think they're both stunning dreadnoughts. I think the Leviathan is just nicer somehow. I really want a Leviathan. I really want a Saturnine Dreadnought, but I really want a Leviathan. I think that they're comparable, but they are slightly different. The Saturnine is more resilient, but I like that from the 3 dreadnoughts we've seen, they each have their place. Long range, mid range, and then just blending stuff with its claws. I appreciate all that, I like all of that. I hope that Heresy, and I think that this is how they've done Heresy. I think this was the same in 2nd edition, I don't think there's anything new, but I feel like units have their own place. They have their own speciality, they have their own way of dealing with things, and there's an element of rock, paper, scissors to army building. I think the weapons look great. I really like the sound of the Graviton Pulverizer, honestly. If you're mid-board, you probably want to be short range, so these two could actually be really nice. Damage 3, damage 4 when he's stationary is a bit gross. But then the Plasma Bombard, 2 of those have a Dreadnought sat on a home objective or back lines or something, just bombarding them from out, line of sight, ignoring fire. It's pretty strong. It's pretty gross. But you are paying the points for it. I honestly think, when you think that the squad of 3 Terminators is 200 points, and alright, it's 3 Terminators, you've got more maneuverability, you've got more attacks. I think I would rather pay the extra for a Dreadnought, but that might just be because I like Dreadnoughts. But let me know what you guys think in the comments below. As always, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one.